What's up, guys? It's Josh again. I'm coming to you today with some Dark Souls 3. I'm here in the Belfry doing a little sunbroing for people, just trying to help people out. It feels like people are not getting help with this boss a lot. I've seen a couple YouTube videos saying this is like the hardest boss. I disagree. I think he's not really that bad of a boss. Now watch me go in there and die on him, but I've sunbrowed him a little, probably like 50 times, around 50 times now for people, and he feels like one of the easier bosses, but for whatever reason people aren't finding enough people. See, this guy struggling to find people, and doesn't feel like people are getting enough help here. So I'm here sunbrowing. That's what I've always loved to do in these games the most, is be a sunbro for people. It's kind of my thing, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now. And what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is the game. I wanted to nitpick it a little. Obviously it's my most favorite series of all time, but there are some things in this one that I was so excited for it, so hyped up for it. Maybe there's a couple things that have annoyed me, so bear with me today. The first thing is really just networking issues. I wanted to, as I've stated before, I wanted to play through this game with my son and have like a fun co-op playthrough. Didn't happen, didn't turn out. When we both bought the game, it would not let us connect. For like a week or two, we couldn't connect to each other no matter what we did. Couldn't do our playthrough. We finally found out we had to have our Xboxes on energy saver mode instead of instant on, which I don't understand, because every other game like we can play just fine together, but for some reason this one will not connect us at all unless we have our Xboxes in energy saver mode for some odd reason. So don't know why that is, but now we can finally play together. But oh, look at this. Right off the bat I get caught napping. Nice. So the problem though now is the magic of, having our first playthrough together is already lost. I've already beat the game. He's played through with a different character, so it's not as exciting, and we're probably just going to find something else that we both love to play through anyway, because of the struggles of trying to actually record a video together. It rarely lets us have just a playthrough. It rarely works correctly, and that's sad. I really was hoping that this one was just gonna work really well and we would constantly co-op, but networking issues, man. You've probably seen it. You go in here, you try to get somebody on your team, you summon, and like 50 people say unable to connect. If we can't connect to them, why does their sign show up? Can you code it so their sign just doesn't show up if it's impossible for me to connect? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if their server sucks or what, but I have had a very painful experience trying to co-op in this game. There's a few crazy bugs too, where if you don't connect right away, sometimes it'll just stall to where your summon stone will be grayed out. You're still playing the game, but it never gives you the unable to go into their world message. And then if you can't do anything without logging back out, your stone will always be grayed out. So that's kind of annoying. I really wanted to have a little bit better of a co-op experience in this, but I'm still doing it. I've still had a lot of fun with people. It's still a great game, but yeah, network issues and general bugs. There's a lot of bugs that we kind of expect to be fixed. We all know that From Software is kind of a quirky developer, and we joke around that the bugs make it harder and stuff, but like enemies hitting you through walls and ceilings and stuff, come on, you can't fix that like this many games later. It's kind of sad at that point. Like, there's for how tight the game could be, there's a lot of developers that probably would have polished it up a lot more, and that's kind of what it just doesn't feel. A lot of it doesn't feel polished. There's a lot of bugs, but great game once again. I gotta drink my potion. Drink the potion. No, don't die, host. Here, come over here. Look at me. Oh shoot, I'm too far away from him. Look at me. This boss is spaz. Alright. Back. Sorry. Throat's a little dry today. The other thing I wanted to talk about was PvP. It feels like in this Dark Souls they really try to cram PvP down your throat, like a lot. There's just so many, there's all these new colors of spirits. There's new reasons why they should invade you. I swear I've been invaded like literally 50 times more than every other Dark Souls. I'm constantly invaded. I'm trying to play the game, I'm invaded, and I've just never really been into that, you know? I wanted to be into it. In the first Dark Souls, I had my experience where I'm playing the game, I think I'm about to hit a guy, and suddenly he teleports behind me and he's stabbing me in the back. And that's been my Dark Souls PvP experience now for years. People just look up the best way to cheat you. Everyone goes on forums and YouTube and they find like, how can I cheat this person the most, and then they call it skill. Dark Souls has never been a skill-based PvP in my mind. There's too much lag for it to ever be a skill-based PvP. I've had a lot of experiences where guys just hit me from 20 feet away. On my screen, they're nowhere near me. In their world, it probably looks like they hit me. But no, it's not one-to-one. It's way too laggy to ever be skill-based. So I've gotten to the point where when people invade my world, I just think, I don't care if the guy kills me, but he's wasting my time. He's probably going to sit and dodge roll with me for 10 minutes and just waste my time. So what I really would like to do, or what I almost feel like doing lately, is just carrying around a large amount of souls. And when an invader comes, I just want to turn my back and say, here, get it over with. I know you're going to cheat anyway. Come stab me in the back and get a bunch of free souls, and I'll go on with the game so you don't waste my time. That's how I feel, and I know a lot of people think that's blasphemy to say that there shouldn't be PvP, because I think there should, but I feel like I wish it was them just dropping their sign. I wish there was no invasions. I wish they could drop the red sign. If you want to summon them in PvP, go right ahead. But that's not a thing. I can't change it. It'd just be nice if they were a little more modern in that way. What was that other game? There's like a zombie game I had where you could go into the options and click, do you want to be invaded or do you not want to be invaded? What was that called? My mind's drawn a blank for some reason. But I really feel like there's people that only want to do things like Sunbro and co-op, and there should be an option in the menu saying, do you want to be invaded? If not, click no. And I'd click no and be like, fine, I don't care to ever be invaded again. I've had the experience. I know what it's like. I just want to get it over with because it's a waste of my time. So, enough about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this game was build issues. When I first booted the game up, I chose Sorcerer. I always choose Sorcerer in RPG first because I love being a Sorcerer. I wanted to be a wizard, all-powerful wizard, but this game, feels like they really gutted magic. When I first booted it up and I casted my first Soul Spear, my guy did the stupid waggle animation from Dark Souls 1 where I shake my spear like a retard and the spell doesn't even come out of the tip of it, and it's slower than tar. The spells are so slow. It just feels like sorcery got gutted and it's totally worthless in this one. Basically, just balance in general feels like it got gutted. You can't really play this Dark Souls like you could Dark Souls 2, where you could play it the way you wanted it. I hate shields. I'm not a shield fan. Dark Souls 2, I never used a shield. I would just dodge roll everything. That was my thing. And this game does not allow you to do that. There's parts where you better have a frickin' shield. Like, it almost feels like some people said the game's too easy, we need more challenge, so they didn't know, they're already doing their best to make it hard, they don't know how to make more challenge, so what they did was just made it cheaper, and that's not the best way to increase difficulty, but there's a lot of parts on this where they just dump way too many enemies on you at once, or else they'll make the enemy act like a blender and he never stops hitting. So instead of having a pattern that you can like roll through 3 or 4 hits and then whack them, there's a lot of guys that just never stop hitting. They just don't. So you have to have your shield, you have to block it, which kind of makes them step back and then you can hit them. And that's a shame. It feels like, oh geez, roll. Feels like the majority of players that I've seen in this are strength builds, because I think people are starting to realize you gotta have a freaking shield, and if you don't, you're probably gonna die, and so I might as well be a strength build because this one focuses a lot more on melee. Apart from the Pyromancer, you can, which kind of shows how unbalanced it is. The Pyromancer is now the real caster in this game. You can cheese so much crap with the Pyromancer. He's kind of like playing the game on easy mode, and Sorcerer is kind of like playing the game on uber hard mode, I guess, is how it feels. So Pyromancer is kind of the truth on this game. Strength build is the easy bet, and I've tried to go through with a Dex build and a Sorcerer, both of which I just had to carry a shield anyway, so I thought I might as well just be a strength build then and have more damage because I can't play without a shield. It's just a little frustrating, but it feels like all the cool ebb and flow of combat that I have gotten used to in the past was kind of broken. And you can't just toy with enemies anymore. I always felt like the guys I've made in this so far, they just felt adequate. No one ever became OP or became amazing, apart from this Pyromancer has kind of been that way on a few parts. He's still not that way everywhere, but I never really felt like in other Dark Souls how I could get so skilled. Like I learned their patterns and got so skilled that I could just toy with them. This one, there's just too much cheap stuff that it doesn't become that way. There's just so many cheap hits I've taken in this game where I just know that I'm like that. Okay. You just the most random crap. Yeah, send the stupid electricity. Okay. Oh. Wow. Drink the potion. Get him in the back, host. Can you draw the aggro for a sec? So that's about it. I don't want to nitpick my favorite series like too much. I love Dark Souls to death. It just feels like they went backwards a little bit. As amazing as this game is, it feels like some areas they kind of digressed. And mainly it's in playing it the way you want to play it. Like this right here, my guy, he's half naked. You used to see that a lot in Dark Souls 2, not so much now. Everybody I see has like big armor, big shields. Maybe there's some other kids out there like me that want to dodge roll and try, have as much skill as possible, but it just feels like the game doesn't allow you to play it the way you want to play it, like in past ones, and you kind of are pigeonholed into like just being heavily armored and shielded on certain sections, unless you just want to die a terrible death. But I refuse. I am going to be in these rags, and whether they kill me 100 times, I will go through a part until I can dodge roll it, because I want to look cool and I don't want to look like everybody else. But hopefully, just bear with me, guys. I know people don't like any sort of criticisms of Dark Souls, but there it is. I've played all these games for years. I love the crap out of them, but yeah, when are they gonna fix that crap? That's what I wonder. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.